Today I've decided to start a series on my channel where I go through each and every map and list off 100 random facts about them. In today's video I'm starting off with Nacht Der Untoten, and unfortunately I couldn't come up with 100 facts, so for this one there's going to be 69. With that being said, let's just jump right into this. Nacht Der Untoten was the first ever zombies map that was originally released to Call of Duty World at War. The map came out on November 11th of 2008. The name of the map, Nacht Der Untoten, actually means Night of the Undead in German. The map is supposedly set in an abandoned bunker in a remote location during World War II. The map features only 3 rooms, being the help room, the spawn room, and the upstairs level, which is 2 rooms, but it's technically only 1. The zombies on Nacht Der Untoten were only featured on that one map and never seen again. Nacht Der Untoten was originally an unlockable Easter egg through completing the campaign, but became so popular it turned into its own mode. Coming in at fact number 8 is the map was originally a passion project that was started out by Treyarch Studios. Later it would be turned into a full mode after it got some success. The game mode of zombies was actually inspired by different horror games like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Nacht still stands as the smallest zombies map of all time if you're counting only Treyarch. The original version of the map started out with nothing except a few wall weapons and mystery box, where later versions of it would expand a little bit. It's been made a total of 6 different times on different games such as World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 on Transit, Black Ops 3, Cold War, and even on COD Mobile now. Now, this map is one that's often used as a stepping stone for players to test their individual skills in the high rounding community. After the launch of the Zombies game mode, it became so popular that it grew its own dedicated fan base alongside it. Here's a fun one for you. Black Ops 3 Nacht Der Untoten has the most time spent in a single gaming world record, taking just over 300 hours. Even though it doesn't show many signs of it, the incredibly complex zombie storyline started as early as the first ever launch map in Nacht. Group 9 through 5, who are once again referenced in the map Nacht, attempt to make advanced technology and weapons like the ray gun in order to deal with different things in the war. Speaking of the ray gun, it was one of the first of many wonder weapons to come, and it was released in Nacht Der Untoten on launch day. Now, due to the franchise's popularity, the mode would eventually become mainstream and feature tons of different merch with its uprisings. Ever since Nacht Der Untoten's release, the zombies mode has been released in every Treyarch game to come. Also, every map that came after Nacht Der Untoten would see some sort of innovation to improve and grow the franchise a little bit. The popular aspects that we see in the zombie storyline, such as time travel and alternate dimensions, were hinted to as early as the Nacht Der Untoten map. Although it started off simple, it would eventually feature multiple famous actors to voice different characters like in Call of the Dead. Also, even though it's small, Nacht holds an abundance of different codes and ciphers within it. The zombies game mode was released with the iconic theme of having a mix of horror and humor throughout it. One of the great parts about zombies is its co-op aspects that allow for players to play with their friends and try to grind out different high rounds. Another thing that makes the game so remarkable is just its replayability factor. The game is an endless wave mode, so it brings a need to beat your previous record every single time you play. Also, the zombies game mode would eventually spark a bunch of different spin-offs like Dead Ops Arcade and even Extinction. It also became popular enough to inspire copycat modes in different games like Roblox, Minecraft, and Fortnite. Due to the game's massive innovation, it can be viewed as one of the best parts of the Call of Duty franchise. Nacht's simplicity in features and tight map design caused it to be seen as the first difficult zombies map to ever be released. The map was the first map to introduce the mystery box, which allowed players to gamble for the chance of getting a better weapon. Also, outside of the survival maps, it's the only map that has an unmovable box location. Random fact number 34 is that the map has the slowest spawn rates out of any zombies map ever. Also, every version of Nacht has changed at least one core aspect of gameplay, whether it's adding a perk or just being in a completely different map altogether. Alongside the 6 Treyarch versions of the map, it also sparked for modders to make their own spin-offs of it in the Steam Workshop. Also, the game mode has made one of the most tight-knit communities in order to solve its many complex Easter eggs and puzzles. Not many people know this, but after it became popular, Call of Duty Zombies also made a comic book series to follow along the story. Even though the map's tiny, Nacht Der Untoten also still has some unsolved ciphers to this day. Also, while we're on the topic, Nacht was originally created as a passion project that was started just by a few devs during their off time. After a little bit further testing of the mode, it eventually was approved to be added as a side mode as long as it didn't take away from the multiplayer and campaign. The game mode would eventually become such a hit, allowing it to earn a bunch of different awards. Also, the Zombies game mode has had maps for both advanced and casual gamers alike. Also, as mentioned previously, Nacht Der Untoten hosts a bunch of different Easter eggs scattered throughout the tiny map. One of these being if you explode all of the red barrels outside the map, an Easter egg song activates. Also, quick mention to some of the text on the walls that would eventually become important for the zombie storyline in the future. The Zombies game mode has also greatly influenced Call of Duty's marketing strategy with how they'd market future games. Another thing that not many people know is that before the original launch of the game, when it was just in dev mode, the only available weapons were the Colt M1911, the M1A1 carbine, and the double barrel shotgun. It wasn't until the official launch version of the mode until other weapons like the ray gun and MP40 were added into the files. Also, speaking of weapons, the weapons in Nacht were actually recordings of real life weapons and not just fake. Also, for every round increase, the zombies' health increases by 1.10 times more. Speaking of zombies in Nacht Der Untoten, they were originally created as an experiment by Group 935. These experiments originally took place to create super soldiers to fight in World War II. Touching on some of the other stuff, the chalk drawings were provided to the soldiers by Monty in order to help them survive. Monty also created the mystery box and some of the perk machines. Also, a bit of a random one here, but the models for the soldiers were imported from the campaign mode. The zombies from Nacht Der Untoten were also inspired by the campaign soldiers. After the zombies were created by Group 935, multiple different entities sought out to be in control of them. Also, although Nacht is a part of the zombie storyline, storyline, it isn't really essential to understanding the whole thing. Many people know this, but the map was also an import for one of World of War's campaign missions. Also, these red barrels outside of the map also explode when you shoot them. Another little bit of an Easter egg here is if you knife the radio in the help room, it starts to play music. On the Black Ops 3 version of Nacht Der Untoten, you can activate Samantha's Lullaby for a free max ammo. The song played on the Game Over sequence is Lullaby of a Dead Man, which would later be featured on the map Verrucht. Also, the appearance of the Marines you play as in the map is completely randomized when you start the game. The writing on the wall that says Ascent from the Darkness would later play a part in the Origins Easter egg being the second step. Alongside being featured in the campaign, Nacht is also seen on multiplayer in the map Airfield. The Thompson wall buy, although being listed at 1500 points, actually only costs 1200 total points to buy. Also, the image for Nacht Der Untoten would later be seen in the Kino Der Toten loading screen. If I missed any random fact that you guys know, make sure to leave a comment, and hopefully Verrucht has 100 facts for me to share for the next one.